Hey, it's Ed Drost here, and yeah, we did I was watching several videos on YouTube yesterday, and I'm in the process of starting a 30-day content creation with AI and using several different platforms, short form video, YouTube videos, a live video that you'll see here. And I've been also going out and finding some people that are way more knowledgeable than I am. And one of the fellows that I follow is Greg Isenberg, and he's got the Startup Ideas podcast, and he brings all these creative people on, and they all know a lot about AI, and it's pretty exciting, So I'm learning a lot from Greg and from his guest, and in the meantime, I was out there searching around, and there's a gentleman named Dan Koe, and he had a course, and it was a course on content creation, how he got started, and he's got like 1 million followers. So I purchased the course from Dan, and it was starting June 16th, today. So that's kind of the crazy part. So anyway, I got my email for the first day of Dan's content creation, and he's going to go through how he does it. And in the meantime, I have this, what I'm calling the AI Amplifying Engine, and it's something that I've been learning and using over the years. So I'm trying to use AI and, start creating content and get my message out. Now, I'm not in the league of Greg Isenberg, nowhere close, or Dan Koe, but I'm just going to, we're going to do a little short video, a little bit. So anyway, this is Greg's well, let me start with this. This is the gentleman, Dan Koe.
Ever thought that I was going to have a personal brand? Back in 2016 or so, I was a freshman in college, and my friend and I, who lived on the same floor, started a YouTube channel. It's actually this YouTube channel that you're watching right now, but all of the videos are deleted. So I've had this channel.
So Dan has been around for a while, and I purchased a course from him because he's got like 1 million followers. He's doing amazing things. And so I thought, and he had this, what he called a challenge, 30 days, and he's going to send you something every day, and you're supposed to follow it. And it's going to help you move through the social media platforms and get noticed. So, like I've been telling you, I follow another gentleman, and his name is Greg Isenberg from the Startup Ideas podcast. And here's Greg, and I'm going to let Greg talk a little bit, and then we're going to move on down, and then we're going to go through something that I did to reverse. I'm going to do to Greg what Greg did to Dan. So we're going to add Greg to the stage right now.
The AI agent product via Perplexity, the $13 billion search engine company. Now, I did a few prompts right before this, and I skimmed the results. I'm going to go through it today, and I was literally blown away. So watch me as I replace a salesperson, a copywriter, a viral social media lead, a film director, a financial analyst with Perplexity's new AI agents, products, labs. You are in for a treat. I'm going to share all my prompts. I'm going to share the workflows. I'm going to go through it. And by the end of this episode, you're just going to have a really good understanding of how to use Perplexity Labs, how to use these AI agents for your business, for building out, whatever it is that, you want to build, a startup, grow your startup, and just give you a better chance of success. So.
So as you can see, I'm not in Greg's league or Dan's. I mean, they got their act together with a lot of things, and I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress here, but I'm going to go. I'm going to get to the point where Greg, he was talking about Perplexity AI, but more importantly, Perplexity AI Labs. And, they have deep research on Perplexity, and they also have deep research on Perplexity. They have a beautiful search engine. So, if you're not using YouTube, it'll do some deep research too. Whatever you want to research. Like I said, I'm a real estate appraiser also, and I use it for, real estate appraisal things that I'm doing, a lot of stuff that I'm doing on the internet and in my marketing. And so anyway, I ran across the video, as you just saw at the beginning, and Greg went through, a salesperson, finance, and he went through everything, but he went through a viral, like, social media, how someone can go to a large number of followers in a short period of time. So we're going to let Greg talk a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to go over and I'm going to show you how I went into Perplexity and reverse engineered what Greg did. So here's Greg with Dan.
He's in your company. So here's what I said. I'd been seeing a lot of Dan Koe stuff. I don't know if you've seen Dan Koe, but he's got like 1 million followers on YouTube and Instagram, stuff like that. I've been seeing a lot of it. So I was just like, hey, I've been seeing a lot of Dan Koe stuff, everywhere on one-man businesses. He talks about one-man businesses a lot. I'm trying to replicate that strategy, but for another niche. What niche would that be? And what are the content formats I should do? Bonus points if you give me a little content calendar. I want 100,000 followers within 90 days. So this is interesting to me because sometimes I'll see someone like this, like, take off, and I'm like, that's really cool. But like, there must be, I've talked about this on the channel before, like, social is a game of formats. So, there must be a way to use his formats in another niche. So let's ask Labs to tell us. And it goes and does that. It tells me a bunch of different niches.
So anyway, I kind of used that, and I went in and I kind of reworked in ChatGPT a prompt that Greg put in, and this will just show you kind of how Perplexity will do what this whole thing here. Oh, anyway, it's kind of a little bit ahead here, but so this is kind of act like a social media strategist, analyze Greg Isenberg's online presence, break down his complete content strategy across YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And, it goes through his frequency of posting. So anyway, it kind of starts breaking it down, as you can see here. I'll speed it up a little bit. You don't want to watch this whole scenario. But, this is the Perplexity Lab doing research that it would probably take someone, or a whole team of people to come up with all of the research here. And it does it in about less than 10 minutes. So it's just kind of amazing. And, it shows, like I said, it's hard to see here, but this is, I had to film this on Camtasia because I couldn't get my screen share to work properly. So anyway, but it's going through. Like I said, it's going through, and I'll kind of speed it up a little bit because I know everybody doesn't want to be watching this whole thing. But like I said, you can see it's like I am creating visual assets, and I think I start hitting some of these. It creates files for you, and all kind of great things. So it'll give you a whole breakdown of what Greg's doing, and and I'll be honest with you, he's the man's, he's been around, like you said, he's created $1 million companies, so he's a brilliant man. But it's the kind of thing you can do to research, to learn some things so that you can create some things and take your game to the next level. Like I said, I'm just getting started back into this at 67 years old, and AI is really kind of blown my mind, opened up some things, and made things so much crazier than you could ever imagine. But like I said, I do. I mean, we're about 3 minutes into this right now. Oh no, 3 minutes left. So I think it was 9 minutes. It said it would take, and it went through all of what Greg does, his funnels, how he does things, his newsletters, just crazy stuff, and it's just really amazing, what it'll do. And then like you said, I mean, you don't want to be copying people or that type of thing, but it can give you a strategy that you can use, and it's just like I said, it just boggles my mind how fast AI. Here I start opening some of these little tabs up, and it kind of shows you, Greg's platform strategy, and it tells you YouTube, how many followers he has on Twitter. Another strategy here, his videos a day, and so it's just a crazy thing, and I'm just like I said, I'm blown away with it. It gives you charts. It'll tell you, like you said, he does a lot on, seems to be on Twitter or X and YouTube and LinkedIn. He doesn't do quite as much on Instagram. He has a presence. But, I know, like I said, I don't know how many of his podcasts I've watched. I mean, I've watched them. I have never listened to one, but I've watched them on YouTube. And, he has these guests that are just, they're brilliant. Every one of them, young, older, whatever, they all have really did something substantial, and I'm just trying to learn from all these people. So, I suggest you go over and hunt Greg Isenberg down. Go hunt Dan Koe down. Like I said, he's got a great course that started today. I'm going to be following that and using it along with what I'm trying to do. And like I said, I'm calling what I'm trying to do my AI Amplifying Engine blueprint. And I'm going back to some things that I've learned over the years, and I've been on and off the internet for since 2007, but always been intrigued. I've used it for my business and around Baltimore. Like I said, I appraise real estate to gain some traction. But these are the things, like I said, that you will find from Greg, by going through it. I mean, they give you a charge. Greg's content ecosystem flow. This is unbelievable, really. How he does Twitter. He boasting 300,000 followers, and it's just crazy, like you said. So, here's his LinkedIn professional authority, B2B. He's got 125,000 followers in 12 months. So, these are what I'm trying to aspire, become better at, so I can gain a following for what I'm trying to do. And it's just to help people that are in my age bracket. I'm 67, in their 60s, late 50s, early 70s, who want to learn more about AI, because if I talk to people about AI and they kind of roll their eyes at me. They think the world's coming to an end, or they're, every job in the world's going to be gone. But, it's powerful, and what it can do for you, and how it can free your mind, how it can help you with so many workflows and things along that nature. So that's what I'm trying to learn, what I'm trying to do myself. And by finding guys like Dan Koe and Greg Isenberg and their guests, you can learn a lot. So, stop watching TV and start learning about AI, because it's moving rapidly. When I say rapidly, I got another buddy of mine, Wes, and we talk, and we do some social media, and we do several things together. And, it create, like, AI will create images now. My ChatGPT will create images, and I pay for my ChatGPT, which is $20. I pay for Perplexity, which is 20, because I think it's well worth it. I mean, when you find out things like this. So this is the whole thing with Greg, and then it'll have some questions. But then I think it wound up doing something a little more than I thought, and I wound up here it is. It created this whole thing. Greg Isenberg's complete social media strategy, comprehensive analysis. Like I said, he's been an entrepreneur. He's done it says 10 million there. I don't know how much he's done. He might have done more, but he's an influencer. He's been around. He's done. He's worked with Reddit, with other areas out there. But like I said, 600,000 followers on X or Twitter, and he's got the hook and the formats and LinkedIn, and then they went through. He has a little strategy. His monetization. He's got a newsletter, 147,000 subscribers. I mean, this is powerful. I mean, they talk about having a list. I mean, when you have 147,000 subscribers, you've done something special. And and the reason is he gives you wonderful information, and he does some beautiful things. So I suggest you go over and check out. Like I said, find Greg and on YouTube, and his Startup Ideas podcast. He has all these ideas that you could use. I mean, start up basically with zero investment and create something beautiful. And it doesn't take much, because I mean, you don't need to know coding. You don't need to know all kinds of things. There's so many platforms out there that you can learn from. And like you said, you can go down a rabbit hole every couple of minutes nowadays, but it's a powerful, AI is powerful. And like I said, if you're not using AI, I suggest you get on it. But it's the pity reply guy strategy that Greg uses. And it kind of gives you his whole strategy there. Identify 10 to 15 key influencers and relevant niches. And then he sets up notifications for their posts, and he does, I mean, these strategies are just, beyond what I can do right now, but they're amazing that this is the type of thing he's doing. So, I've been working on, and my podcast is nowhere near anything like Greg's, but I've been doing blog posts, videos. I got an email. I'm working on a newsletter. I'm getting AI to help me. So that's part of why I joined Dan Koe's 30-day content strategy is to really start learning some of these things. And I know Greg has some great things that you can invest your money in to learn some things. And I can only learn so much. So I'm taking one step at a time. But I'm sure I'll be back over, and I'll be learning some great things from Greg. And so anyway, we did a little reverse engineering of Greg Isenberg's social media strategy, his viral social media strategy. And you can see it's working, because the man has a fabulous following. And I've learned a lot from Greg just by using him. So like I said, we're back here at Perplexity. So I'll let Greg say.
I love how it breaks it down. Like, AI and productivity is growing really quick, but it's, has very high monetization, but the competition level is medium. The content appeal is very high. Content creation. What if I, just been the Dan Koe of content creation? Well, the competition level is very high. So, this is just a good framework for thinking about, what niche should I be in? I will say this is too big.
So in the past, we made videos on calisthenics. We did eating challenges, like a 10,000 calorie challenge, and other talking head videos. And it didn't get anywhere. We didn't know what we were doing. But that wasn't the end. I always had this desire to do something creative. I didn't think it was going to be a personal brand by any means, but I wanted to do something. And so naturally I started experimenting with other things, and I got into photography / digital art / editing. I really like the editing portion of it. And if you scroll to the bottom of my Instagram, you can see those edits. And that's technically when the name The Dan Koe, or my handle, was born. I was a lifeguard over the summers, and I was trying to think of, okay, what should I name?
So anyway, we're back. My screen's black, and I guess we'll be ending it here because I don't know what I did here, but anyway, it's all good. Hopefully you gained a little information. And go over to Perplexity. It's well worth the $20, like you said. And so anyway, Drost AI is amazing. I suggest you start learning it. If you're it's moving so rapidly. So now's the time to get in and start to learn something. So look forward to connecting. I should have some information down in the descriptions, and I'll have a prompt for you that ChatGPT created for me. So start using ChatGPT, start using Perplexity. There's Claude, there's a variety, Gemini. So there's all kind of Notebook LM, and they all do some amazing things. So they're the ones that I've been using. So, and there's other ones out there. So I suggest getting your foot wet, get into AI and start learning. And also go check out Dan Koe and check out Greg Isenberg. You'll learn a lot, and it doesn't take long.